Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing a limited edition of 600 pieces made for 2018 to celebrate 25 years of the Grand Seiko 9F quartz caliber. This is the Grand Seiko Quartz SBGV238 in stainless steel and yellow gold. This is a super high-end quartz watch. Now, it has a case of 40 millimeters diameter, 10.2 millimeters thick. From lug tip to lug tip, the case is 46.2 millimeters. From end link to end link, it is 50 millimeters, and it has a 19 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw it on my wrist. My wrist is 16 centimeters circumference. It wears beautifully. It is super flat. And as you can see, though it is a large watch across the wrist when the end links are taken into account, the case itself is not that broad. So I would try it on a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference. Now, taking a quick look at the timepiece in detail, because it is steel, Grand Seiko uses removable links fixed by screws on the bracelet. You can see there are half links added if you're in between sizes. The bracelet features a conforming end link that traces the arc of the case, but also the slope of the lugs, so there's no space between bracelet and case. We have staggered link alignment, staggered link size, polished intermediates, and as you can see, there's a little bit of a rolled bevel that gives way to the polished flank of the links, and the links have nice gaps on the underside to avoid pinching skin, pulling hair, or trapping wrist heat. We have a single fold deployant clasp with twin trigger release. It's made of thick gauge steel, and the case itself is a variation on the 44GS case design. It's been a Grand Seiko mainstay since it arrived in 1967. It's a combination of curves but also creases, and you can see there's some complex faceting at the ends of the lugs. You can also see that all of the polishing is sharply mirrored. This is done using a spinning tin plate. Grand Seiko calls this Zaratsu polish. It's executed on a European Zalitz machine, but the foremost practitioners of this technique are now the folks in Japan, and it takes about 3 years to master because it is hand-eye coordination and craft knowledge. No tools other than the actual spinning tin plate are used to achieve this. We have a combination of satin and polish for contrast. We have a crown that is partially recessed to protect against shearing. It is not a screw-down crown, though I should mention the watch is 100 meters water resistant. Now, you have a set of yellow gold indices, logo, dial furniture, and bezel. The bezel has a little vertical portion, and as you can see, the lugs actually sweep up dramatically at the ends of the bezel to visually clasp it into place. Now, the dial features a repeating motif that is supposed to signify the presence of quartz. Grand Seiko dials are among the best in class, and far above, I might say, as well, because all of this dial furniture, the logo, the indices, the hands, the date frame, that's all executed by manual means. There are artisans who use tiny diamond-tipped milling tools who only create these tiny parts all day long. The result is that the faceting is razor sharp. The cut is like the twinkle of precision sliced gems cut by experts, and you have quite a bit of life to these dials that you don't get even on premium dials from the likes of Omega and Rolex. Now, the watch does feature faceting to its Dauphine hands at center. You can see that's easy to note. We have a 5-pointed star, recognizing the fact that this is a souped-up version of the 9F quartz caliber. We have stop seconds. Then we also have a quick set system for the dates. You can rapidly cycle that. One of the few quartz watches that is so significant both in its importance to the brand and its stature in the industry that it gets a display case back. And this is a gorgeous variation on the 9F, the 9F82. You can see this is number 449 of 600. The movement is built by a watchmaker, tuned by a watchmaker, and when the time comes, serviced by a watchmaker. Everything, the shock protection, the lubricants, even the battery used, created in-house by Seiko. Now, the movement is a quartz with a 3-year power reserve. It pivots on 9 jewels. It is thermocompensated, which means it doesn't vary in its timing when temperatures are high or very low. It features this little trimmer tool that the watchmaker can use to adjust for the natural drift of quartz crystals that occurs over decades. So this is a movement built for the long haul, and very, very precise, as this souped-up version of the 9F has an accuracy of plus or minus 5 seconds, and that is 5 seconds per year. not per month. This is an extraordinary feat of engineering. There's more. As you can see, on the dial side, we have a exceptionally long arcing seconds hand and a minutes hand to match. A unique double pulse torquing system is used. It's integral to the microprocessors and fed to the stepper motors to allow these large hands to be used without drawing excess current from the battery. We also have a lash adjustment system that makes absolute certainty, if I get the angle right here, you can see that the hand always aligns with the second index. And so there is a system engineered to make sure that happens as well. There is a lot to love about the 9F, and I have to remind you that the 9F, with its 5-second accuracy per year, is as good as anything you will find anywhere. It is a work of art and a miracle of engineering. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for pricing.